This mutation is out of order, and we have 3 mutators active on Vermillion Problem. We have Microtransactions, Time Warp, and Darkness. So I think the hardest one here is probably the Microtransactions mutator. That one is really nasty, really annoying. So every single time you do anything in the game, it will charge you a certain amount of resources to do. So if you issue a command to an SCV, it'll charge you a certain amount of resources. If you issue a command to an army, it'll also cost you a bunch of resources over here. So Stukov tends to be the natural best choice here because all he has to do is put his Scimeter somewhere. I think repositioning the Scimeter does cost resources, but you know, you position your Scimeter once and that's basically it. You don't have to really care about repositioning it again until you want to push somewhere else. So it's a very minimal cost compared to a commander like Nova, who needs to actively micro her army. So Nova is going to be struggling a little bit in this mutation, but Stukov should be okay here. Now, unfortunately for Stukov, it is on Vermillion Problem, and Vermillion Problem is one of those maps that is really difficult for Stukov to get his army to move around with because of the lava mechanic. So Stukov will have I would say a slightly frustrating time, but he should not have a hard time with this mutator. Just we should be expecting a very annoyed Stukov player. So we'll see what happens over here. So pre-lane production, very standard build. Stukov is he's already put down his first bunker. Nova is getting her detection, and we have an engineering bay coming out for Nova. But yeah, Nova is going to be struggling a little bit. Her army units are expensive, which means even the Microtransactions mutator is going to be very painful for Nova to handle. Yeah, relatively standard builds here for both the players. Stukov has not moved his Scimeter yet. His Infestor are going to be parked over here, but there'll be an attack wave that'll be coming up coming up this ramp. So Stukov will probably want to move at that point to intercept the attack wave first, and then try and push over to clear the expansion. Once he has this expansion, he will have a little bit of an easier time dealing with the rest of the mission, because his economy will be buffed to a significantly high level, so he can put down a lot more bunkers, and then he'll have a stronger pushing potential over here. We have an infest structure that comes down on, again, Air Terran, and you can see over here Stukov not happy that it is Air Terran. It is definitely not one of the favorite compositions for Stukov. He is going to be struggling a little bit with that. But I only expected the crystal over there. I think only one crystal has been deposited, so there should be another crystal somewhere. There we go. There is detection there for the crystal, so someone will be sending someone over to try and pick up that crystal. Now, Stukov is pushing now to clear this expansion, but as you can see, his creep has not spread to that point yet. So his infested are a little bit slow, and they end up like dying to some of the defenders on that side, but Stukov is sending a bunker over. Bunkers are a little bit more tanky, but again, they are expensive units and you have to be a little bit careful. Apocalypse comes down now to try and clear this expansion, which is usually the play here for Stukov. It's the correct play. Use the Apocalypse, clear your expansion, and at least take your expansion so you can put down more bunkers and start saturating that expansion to build up your economy. As you can see, a Time Warp has come over here, and this Time Warp is going to start harassing the mineral lines for the players. Now, here's an interesting thing to note. Normally, on most maps, Time Warp does not spawn near player expansions and near mineral fields. I think there's a 10 range limit that Time Warp will spawn from. So, Time Warp will not spawn within 10 range of a mineral field. That is standard for pretty much any map. Unfortunately, on Vermillion Problem, these things are not considered mineral fields for whatever reason. I do not know why, but they are a different kind of mineral field to the one that you will see on maps, because you can see they have this little kind of fence thing around them, this little barrier thing, and because of that, this is a different kind of mineral field. And in the editor, what Blizzard has done is they've only counted the regular mineral fields that stick out of the ground. They haven't really considered these mineral fields that are, you know, special mineral fields. Even though they're considered just standard mineral field, they're a different type of mineral field. So as a result, all mutators that would not normally target areas that are near these mineral fields will target your expansion. So this is including things like lava burst and time warp and temporal fields, etc., etc. So it's just a little bit tidbit of information for you guys that are curious to know why the time warp spawned in that side. Nova's here, and she is not... there we go, there's a shotgun. I was gonna be like, why are you not shotgunning these units and killing them instantly? There we go. So that area has been cleared. There are 2 more crystals on that side that will have to be addressed by the players. Unfortunately, Darkness is making this mission a little bit difficult because these are going to be the last crystals where they are going to be spawning in a predictable location. So first crystal always spawns here. Second set of crystals spawn, somewhere in this area, and then the third set of crystals spawn, on either side of the expansion. And the fourth one, down goes Nova. The fourth set of crystals will spawn either here or on that side. So the players will have to be a little bit more proactive in trying to figure out where these crystals are spawning if they want to be able to complete the mission. And it's only going to get harder as time progresses, because at some point the crystals will spawn in locations which can get covered by lava, which means you end up losing the crystals, and that can be very, very bad for the players. So you can see over here, Time Warp spawning right on the mineral field. Again, it's an irritant for Stukov, but it's also important to note that since it is not a damaging mutator, it's okay to take the expansion. But on certain mutators like Scorched Earth, for example, or sorry, not Scorched Earth, Lava Burst. Lava Burst can be devastating for your mineral line, and that is why you do not want to take your expansion when you have mutators like that are active. The Nova has... Okay, so Nova is going for a bio army over here, which is, I guess, okay. Very important for Nova, though, to get the EMP upgrade on her ghosts. There are a lot of hybrid dominators that are scattered around the map. I think there are something like 4 or 5 hybrid dominators around the map. There's one over there. Let's actually count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there are 4 or 5 hybrid dominators on the map. So having the EMP upgrade for your ghost is very important when you're playing Nova, because you can EMP the hybrid dominator, and then the hybrid dominator will not skill you and end up wrecking Nova. So let's hope our Nova player gets that upgrade done before they decide to push into some of the enemy islands over there. We do have 4 minutes left on the clock, so players will have to try and find these crystals. So as you can see over here, it's very, very difficult. You do not know where these crystals have spawned. So Stukov is starting to send his units over to try and see if, maybe you get lucky and find a crystal there, and they can start aggressively there. See, you can see here, Nova is asking, like, where do I go? You don't actually know. You can't actually tell. You have to go and figure out where these crystals are. Now, the heavy presence of Vikings here means that there is a crystal nearby. There we go. There's one. I think there might be another one here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. So there's the other crystal over here. So that's the other thing you can do, is don't look for the crystal, but look for the harass wave that spawns near the crystals. But again, some of these crystals do not spawn harass waves, so again, it does make it a little bit tricky. Darkness makes this mission a little bit more tricky. But those are 2 crystals that have been found there by the commanders, so those will be picked up relatively quickly. I believe the next thing that these players should do... Oh, there we go. There's another one there. So those things kind of got ninja'd by the attack wave, but they found 3 crystals. 2 kind of in a predictable location, this one completely by luck. Apocalypse comes down here to try and clear this escort wave, and this crystal will be picked up as well. So we have 2 minutes left on the timer, but those 3 crystals are pretty good there. There was a small attack wave that came up on this side, I believe. It ended up harassing Nova's refineries, but those things were taken out now. So these crystals will get deposited. Time Warp does come down, ends up slowing up the SCV, but that SCV will make it in time without any issues. Apocalypse has parked himself over here. He's just going to admire the view. And Nova and her army are making themselves back. There's Nova going to get roasted by the lava. Just in time. So we have 5 minutes, so we have about 6 minutes now left on the timer. So plenty of time for the allies to try and find the next set of crystals. And again, not an easy thing to do, because they do not spawn in predictable locations anymore. There are a certain number of locations you can look. To be honest, I do not remember the map order. They do spawn in one of several locations, but it is not all the possible locations that they can spawn. So there are fixed spawn points all around scattered around the map. It goes from like letters A to, I want to say P, but I'm not really sure. I can't remember the map in detail. I haven't looked at the map data in a while. But yeah, they do spawn in like one of 3 possible locations or something. Airstrike comes down here, essentially wipes out a really nice airstrike there from Nova, and essentially clears out the entire attack wave. And now Stukov is basically doing what I was kind of expecting to do. He's going to try and push into this side, because this is the most likely location the crystals will spawn. Crystals might also spawn around this area here. Very useful to go ahead and just check and see if you can find this crystal. So there's go. So there's a 1 crystal there. There's usually going to be a 2nd crystal as well that'll spawn somewhere nearby. So there we go. There's a 2nd crystal, and that is really good. So those are 2 crystals, and that is a 3rd crystal on that side. So that is all good. So now they have their next 3 crystals, which is very good for the players. We have a nuke that'll come down here for Nova. I think... Okay, the nuke does go down as soon as Nova gets smoked by that Liberator. But that is okay. So most of those units have been cleared up. There's a Hybrid Dominator that's left over there, but that can be cleared up again. Unfortunately, Nova gets smoked by that Dominator's Plasma Blast. Nova not having a good day there. Nova wants her vengeance. She's going to start spamming this ability, and it's... Okay. That would have been really, really funny if she got smoked by that Plasma Blast again. But she does not. So much for a little bit of comedy while watching these mutations take place. Airstrike on this attack wave. One of the annoying things about this mission, particularly this expansion, and particularly about air compositions, is they tend to harass this expansion a lot. You can see over here, Nova kind of got shafted by this attack wave that has spawned. So Stukov decided, you know what, I'm just going to put down a ton of missile turrets here to just draw some aggro and make your life a little bit easier, because Nova did end up losing 16 SCVs in that process. Well, it might not have been 16 SCVs, she might have lost some SCVs while she was rallying to this crystal that she picked up here when she was having fun with that Dominator, but nevertheless. Bakalisk is over here. I don't think it's going to be able to take out that Behemoth over there. Nope. Behemoth does not go down. Nova is over here. Her army is parked over here with a bunch of siege tanks. I do not know why she has the siege tank sieged up over here. She is dealing with an air composition. So these siege tanks unfortunately do not shoot up. They have very, very low anti-air DPS. So this is the very tricky part now. Usually crystals might spawn in this location. Okay, there's one. If that is somewhat unlucky, because sometimes you can get 3 crystals that'll spawn in this location. Unfortunately, there's only 1 here. So if there's 1 here, then there might be... Okay, there's another one down there, and there's probably 1 up on this side, or there might be 1 down on this side over here. So there might be a certain number of locations to spawn. I don't really remember where the crystals might spawn, but something happened over there. I'm not really sure what, and unfortunately I cannot rewind. I do not want to rewind, but anyway, that crystal has been picked up. I think what happened is that she got attacked by an attack wave that might have spawned, I believe. Okay, so there's the other crystal. So those are 2 crystals, and then the 3rd crystal is on this side here with a psi emitter. Oh, there are 2 more crystals here. Actually very convenient. So they found 4 crystals so far. Very, very good there on that front. But yeah, there is a little bit of... there are a few enemy units on this side, but no one can clear out that side. That drone, that sabotage drone is not really going to do anything. But now Nova gets flanked by an attack wave on this side, and yeah, she doesn't really have the anti-air to deal with it. An airstrike would be perfect for Nova. She has it off cooldown. She should be using an airstrike to deal with this. I do not know why she doesn't want to use the airstrike there. Yeah, she should have used an airstrike on that side. Anyway, we have 2 crystals here. These crystals are safe. This one, unfortunately, is going to disappear, which is somewhat unfortunate. It does lengthen the mission a little bit, but these 2 crystals can be picked up at some point, and the allies will be okay. Some of the infested get roasted by the lava there because the psi emitter has not been repositioned, but this is one of the reasons why Stukov does tend to struggle a little bit. There are a bunch of widow mines that are harassing these infested units as well. There's no detection for Stukov, unfortunately. But I'm too scared to move. Yeah, Darkness is actually a very, very unnerving kind of mutator. You know, not knowing what is there. Map knowledge is very, very important for players. If you know how the map works and how the attack wave moves around and stuff, it makes Darkness a little bit easier. But slightly inexperienced players will find it relatively unnerving and relatively disturbing. But yes, unfortunately, that crystal has disappeared. But there's another one that spawns near in that location, so there's another crystal there. And I believe there might be one more, there might be actually two more in that side if they get a little bit lucky. So let's see where the other two crystals are. It should be 3 in total, and usually it'll be one here. If you usually see one here, there might be one more on that side. No, one more there. But let's see where these crystals end up spawning. They need to check that little side there. So I don't think there's anything there. There we go. So there's that other crystal here. And just check up a little bit north as well. Might be... but I don't think there's another crystal there. If there's no crystal on that side, then there might be one that spawned on this side here. There's another hybrid dominator in there. There's where the 5th dominator was. I forgot about that side. But there might be one crystal on that side. The Stukov is just going to push into this enemy base here. There's going to be nothing there. Crystals don't spawn in that area. But Nova wants to push in, I believe, and I want to see if there's another crystal. There's a very high chance that there might be a crystal there. Nuke comes down, very nicely placed nuke. That'll take out the a lot of the ground units. Dominator just moves away there, but Dominator is going to skill Nova and one-shot her again if she is not paying attention. Okay, so there is the other crystal. This is like an Easter egg hunt right there. It's like try and find where these crystals are hidden around the map. 2 snipes going down on the Dominator. Dominator goes down. Now all these scary units are gone. You have a bunch of battle cruisers, which are not really going to make much of a difference. And there we go. There's the other crystal there. Were these crystals picked up? I think they were picked up. I was not really paying attention to that side. I'm just trying to figure out where these crystals are spawning because this is actually kind of fun. Actually, this might be interesting to do. You know, if you really want to practice your map knowledge, playing this mission with Darkness will really push your map knowledge to the limit, because trying to figure out where these crystals are, you know, some of them I tend to forget as well. These spawn orders, like the next one, I'm not really sure where these crystals spawn. I think the next set of crystals will spawn in this area here, because the 3 already spawned on that location. So it's kind of fun to do. If you're bored and you have nothing better to do, put Darkness on and play this mission. I do know though some players do not really enjoy playing this mission. And personally, it's not one of my favorite missions either. It feels a little bit too detached. The lava instances kind of put the whole mission on pause. There's very little you can do if you've already cleared the island. There we go. There's another crystal there. And I think there should be maybe 1 more, 2 more in that site. There's a lot of battle cruisers there. That isn't actually an attack wave. That is not the harass wave. But airstrike comes down, and that should take out most of the battle cruisers, and whatever's left gets cleaned up by the infested. There's 1 crystal here. And Banshees will go down as well. I think there should be, yeah, so you can see this, which means that there is a crystal on this side as well. So yeah, Stukov recognizes that there's a crystal there, so we'll pick that up as well. And I think there should be a 3rd one somewhere. Now, given that we are at the 26-minute mark in the mission, I think there should be a crystal or 2 that are spawned in that little island on that side. So if the commanders are looking for another crystal, I think that is where I would personally look, because usually there should be 1 that is around there. But anyway, this appears to be the last Stukov OP. Yes, Stukov very OP. Stukov very good against most mutators. And that is GG.